as the UFC gifted us with fighters like Alex Pereira, Charles Oliveira, Carlos Prates, Justin Gaethje, and the Michael Chandlers, we also have some really boring fucking fighters, y'all. So let's go ahead and talk about them, y'all. We got some fighters on this list right here, as y'all can see at the bottom, and we're gonna be going through every single fighter and ranking them on how boring they are. S tier being the worst tier, D tier being that you're not that boring, and A through C just being, yeah, just you're just in the middle of boring. So, yeah, first up on the list you could see is Israel Adesanya, the Nigerian slash New Zealand, Australian guy, and the Chinese guy. We're gonna start off strong here, you guys. We're starting off in the S tier. Or no, A tier, A tier. We're gonna go A tier with Adesanya. Adesanya is a leg kick merchant. He leg kicks and runs 24/7. That's all he does. His highlight reel is currently getting carried by Alex Pereira KO after Alex Pereira got caught by him, and yeah, shit happened. But other than that, since 2020 through now, Adesanya has gotten 2 finishes, and I think he's had like 7 fucking fights. So he's a pretty horrible fighter, and his decision fights aren't even entertaining. They're just him leg kicking people to death and then running away. And he doesn't even have good leg kicks or a good power in his hands when he throws his shots anymore. So, um, yeah, Adesanya, you're boring as fuck. Throw more than just a fucking leg kick and a straight left hand. Or straight right hand, my bad. Next up, we got Magomed Ankalaev. We're gonna also go with him at being a B tier. Listen, you guys, Magomed Ankalaev is not that boring of a fighter. Hot might be a hot take, might not be, but he gets finishes, you guys. I think he just is only boring when the fighters are running away from him. And he is decently boring, but he's not as boring as everybody says he is. Therefore, I'm gonna put him at the B tier. And yeah, not really much to say about him, though he does have a boring personality, so that kind of fucks it up too, as well. So yeah. Next up, we got his opponent at UFC 308 that he beat, which is the prime example of running, and we're gonna go ahead and go B tier for him as well. Alexander Rakic is a boring fighter as well. He's kind of like the light heavyweight version of Adesanya. He just leg kicks and runs, and that's basically all he did against Ankalaev in his last fight, which made the fight boring. If Rakic was man enough to stand there and bang with Ankalaev, that would have been a fun fight, maybe even a finish. So therefore, I'm gonna put Rakic at a B tier. He's not as boring as Adesanya, but he is a boring fighter. More boring than Magomed Ankalaev, in my opinion. And yeah, next up, we got Jailton Almeida. Jesus. This guy is a snooze fest to watch, you guys. First S tier of the day. Horrible fighter to watch. I fall asleep every time he. No, I'm playing. But all he fucking does in fights is fucking search for takedowns, and he doesn't even do nothing with the takedowns. At least in the most of the performances I've seen from him. Um, he was gifted by the UFC a main event, a fight night main event in Brazil last year against Derek Lewis to show his potential and show that he's the next big guy. And he absolutely threw that opportunity to shit while while he hugged Derek Lewis on the ground for 5 rounds straight, and then proceeds to go in the post-fight interview and said, I forgot what he said, but he said, "Did you guys enjoy that?" Or I don't know what he said exactly, but he was acting like it was an amazing fight. So yeah, therefore I'm gonna put bro at C tier. He was also doing the same shit at, I mean not C tier. I'm put bro at S tier because he was also doing the same thing against Curtis Blades before Curtis Blades got to finish. Um, so yeah, Jailton Almeida, you're a S tier boring fighter. Um, be more entertaining, bitch. Alright, next up we got Bilal. Remember the decision, Muhammad. Motherfucker is also going up to S tier. Bilal Muhammad is boring as fuck. All he does is wrestle, 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 and his striking looks shit. In his last 5 fights, his only finish is a TKO win over Sean Brady, where Sean Brady quit after getting hit with one good shot in the second round. Um, and yeah, other than that, Bilal Muhammad's pretty much been a shit fest and a snooze fest to watch. Yeah, I can't really fucking even bear to watch him most of the time. Only fight I've been excited for is him versus Shafkat because I was interested in the matchup. But other than that, I'm not too interested in it. And he is a boring ass fighter. So therefore, I'm gonna go and put his ass at S tier. Alright, next up, we got another S tier fighter. Let's put him above Jailton Almeida. He is the most boring fighter in the UFC, in my opinion. 8 fights in the UFC, 8 decisions. The only time I had fun watching him was when he almost got when he's almost getting finished. And yeah, he's just a pretty shit fighter. He's fighting at UFC 310 against this other boring fuck right here. And we're gonna see how boring they could both make that fight. Maybe two boring guys could clash and have an entertaining fight against each other. Who knows? But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put Mazar Evloev at the S tier. He is a boring piece of shit, and his face is ugly, and he's inbred. Alright, next up, we got Leon Rocky Edwards. I'm also put this guy at an A tier. A tier. Yeah, A tier for sure. He's kind of at the same boring level as Adesanya. Him and Adesanya both fight like they're fucking sparring nowadays. Edwards is kind of pretty to watch, like his striking, but I don't know, to be honest, he's boring, man. I mean, there's no way around it. He's just a boring fighter, and I don't like watching him. So, therefore, I'm gonna go ahead and put his ass at A tier. Only finish he had was when he got the lucky KO over Usman, and I think that was his first finish since the fucking no contest against Bilal in like 2021, bro. So, uh, yeah, man. Leon Edwards, get your shit up. Stop fucking fighting like you're sparring. Both of you two, Adesanya and Edwards, y'all both need to start fighting like you're actually in a fight, not in a sparring match. Next up, we got the opponent of the worst fighter in the UFC. We got Aljamain, the Funk Master Sterling. You're going at in the top of A tier, buddy. You're boring as fuck. He is literally the like I don't know how to explain it. He's boring as hell. He was acting like he was good. He was acting hyped when Dana announced that there was going to be 300K bonuses at the press conference, knowing damn well he is not getting no 300K bonus with the way he fights. He fights like shit. He is a hugger. He doesn't do shit. He just I don't know. He likes to cuddle. He gets you to the ground and he doesn't do nothing with it. He doesn't try to submit you. He doesn't try to TKO you, do the ground and pound. He doesn't do nothing like that. He is just a boring fighter all around, horrible to watch, and I'm definitely falling asleep when he fights next time. Next up, we got his cuddle buddy, his little best friend slash boyfriend. We got Marab Dvalishvili. He is definitely right here. I'm gonna go right there. Marab Dvalishvili, he is a horrible fucking fighter to watch. I fall asleep damn near every time he fights. The only time I didn't fall asleep when he fought was against Henry Cejudo. And the only reason I probably didn't fall asleep to that was because the crowd was hype as fuck, and I was there for that fight at UFC 298. And yeah, I feel like I haven't rewatched the fight in like just on the computer, so I don't know if it was boring from the broadcast point of view, but the crowd was keeping me hyped throughout the night. So yeah, that's probably the only reason I didn't fall asleep though. His O'Malley fight, boring as fuck. His Jose Aldo fight should have cut him from the UFC. Um, fucking just all of his fights, bro. Let's just be honest. His Peter Yan fight, that shit was horrible too. He hugs, bro. He's a hugger. He's a cuddler. I think we know where you got that from. This little fucking ugly shit right here. And Yeah, there's really not much to say about him except that people only like him because of his personality, but his personality does not match up to his fighting style. So let's just move on from that little fuck. All right, next up we got Mario Bautista. All right, listen, you guys. He is not the most boring fighter ever. He, don't get me wrong. His fight against Jose Aldo was atrocious. I hate him for that. I will forever hate him for that. He is a hugger. He is a failure to the UFC, and he should have been cut after that performance. But he is not that boring, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put him at C tier. I just don't know, man. I put him last for a reason, so y'all could stay for the whole video, and yeah, I put him at C tier just because I don't think he's that boring. He's not as boring as these two. He's not as boring as these. Definitely not as boring as them. If you just base him off of his last fight and not his whole UFC career, he is 100% at the top of this list, be above Momsar Evloev. But we aren't just going off of one fight. We're going off of the whole UFC career, and I don't think he's that horribly boring. So due to that, I'm gonna put him at C tier. Not really much to say about that, except for yeah, I think he gets overhated only because of that last Jose fight, which is completely acceptable, but you can't put him as a S tier or B or A in my opinion as one of the most boring fighters in the UFC. So that'll be it for the video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell me which rankings y'all disagree with, and let me know what you would change about this list. Other than that, you guys, I hope y'all have a great day, and peace out.